In a heart-wrenching twist of courage, meeting deadly retribution, whistleblower Marius van der Merwe's final moments were captured on camera, revealing a shocking conversation with his assassins just before they silenced him forever. This gripping footage not only underscores the perils of speaking out against corruption, but also raises profound questions about justice and safety in society. Dive deeper with us as we unpack this tragic story, piecing together the details of a man's quest for truth that ended in violence. But here's where it gets controversial. Did his bravery ultimately serve justice, or did it expose the fragility of protections for those who dare to expose the dark underbelly of power? The surveillance video, obtained from outside his residence in Brakpan, depicts Marius van der Merwe, known as Witness D during the Madlanga Commission, engaging in a brief exchange with the individuals who would soon take his life. For beginners unfamiliar with the context, the Madlanga Commission is an official inquiry into allegations of misconduct and criminal behavior within South Africa's police forces, aiming to unearth truths about abuses of power and corruption. In the footage, van der Merwe, a former official with the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department, EMPD, attempts to reach for his own firearm, but it's tragically too late. He is shot multiple times right there on his property, in the presence of his horrified family, on a Friday evening that shattered lives. Van der Merwe's testimony at the commission centered on harrowing events involving the torture and questioning of a Mozambican national at an unauthorized location in Brakpan. He claimed that a team of EMPD officers, collaborating with private security personnel, were responsible for the man's death through brutal methods, including the use of tubing, a technique widely recognized as torture. Under duress, van der Merwe admitted he had been compelled to dispose of the victim's body in a nearby dam, a revelation that weighed heavily on his conscience and drove him to come forward. President Cyril Ramaphosa, South Africa's leader, expressed deep dismay in his condolences, urging law enforcement to thoroughly investigate the motives behind this abhorrent crime. I am appalled and saddened by this attack on a former public servant who recently served the cause of justice and integrity by testifying at the Madlanga Commission, Ramaphosa stated. He extended his sympathies to van der Merwe's family, who endured the trauma of witnessing the assault, and highlighted how this act appears to target those undermining the rule of law and obstructing efforts to combat corruption through accountability. The Commission's spokesperson, Jeremy Michaels, echoed this sentiment in a statement, noting the profound grief over the loss of one of its key witnesses. The Commission has noted with profound sadness the brutal killing of one of its witnesses, Mr. Marius van der Merwe. He contributed towards uncovering serious allegations of criminality and corruption in the EMPD, Michaels remarked. To tackle this murder, authorities have mobilized NatJoints, a top-tier investigative framework that integrates high-ranking police officers and intelligence experts to ensure a comprehensive probe. This structure is typically reserved for the most serious crimes, underscoring the gravity of the situation. Van der Merwe, a Brakpan-based figure in the security sector and a one-time EMPD employee, was described by close friend Superintendent Jacques Vorster as someone who died with a lighter burden after unburdening his guilt. In an emotional interview on Sunday, Vorster, visibly distraught and tearful, shared insights into their bond forged through joint efforts to combat illegal mining operations by so-called Zama-Zamas, unlicensed miners who often operate in makeshift camps like Plastic City in Brakpan. For those new to the term, Zama-Zamas are individuals involved in illicit gold or mineral extraction, posing significant challenges to law enforcement and community safety. Vorster and van der Merwe, who owned a security company, worked tirelessly together, forming a tight friendship. We were relatively tight, and he did not have a scared bone in his body, Vorster recalled poignantly. According to Vorster, van der Merwe had confided in him about his upcoming testimony, revealing only the essentials. Despite recognizing the risks, including the potential identification through his voice given the number of parties involved, van der Merwe saw it as his moral duty, aligning with his religious convictions. shortly after being forced to dump the body at Sparwater Dam. He had even reported the incident to bodies like the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPID, and the police, though little action followed. This guilt haunted him with sleepless nights, as he felt powerless to intervene further without endangering his own life. He knew it was right to confess all before the commission, and he dearly wanted to do this, Vorster explained. The friend believed Vander Merwe anticipated trouble, and suspicions linger that he may have recognized his attackers, as evidenced by the CCTV showing him speaking with them moments before the shooting. Vorster likened losing Vander Merwe to losing a sibling, expressing utter devastation. He mentioned Vander Merwe's family, his supportive wife who encouraged his truth-telling despite the dangers, and their 2 young sons are grappling with immense grief. They had assumed his commission appearance would mark the end of imminent threats, paving the way for future court testimonies. "None of us saw this coming," Vorster lamented. He concluded by honoring Vander Merwe as a community benefactor whose good deeds will be sorely missed. Their last conversation revolved around another anti-Zamazama initiative, a plan now forever on hold. "Now this will never happen," Vorster said sorrowfully. "And this is the part most people miss: the broader implications for whistleblower protections in South Africa. While commendations pour in from leaders, this incident shines a stark light on whether such courage is truly safeguarded." Some might argue that Vander Merwe's actions were heroic, potentially sparking real change, while others could question if he was naive in believing justice would prevail. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this tragedy deter future witnesses from coming forward, or might it galvanize stronger safeguards against corruption? It's a debate worth having. Does the system adequately shield those exposing wrongdoing, or are we seeing a pattern of intimidation that undermines democracy? What are your thoughts? Do you believe whistleblowers like Marius Vander Merwe are sufficiently protected in South Africa? Or is this a wake-up call for reform? Share your opinions in the comments. Do you agree with the president's call for justice? Or do you see a counterpoint where internal police issues run deeper? Let's discuss.